All right, all right. This is the Horse Hour, the storytelling show that tells true stories. And today, I'm going to tell a true story about the crime of the century. So that's what they say it was. And I say it's a lie. Okay. The crime of the century, I was there. And that whole thing was a bunch of BS. I finally figured out why would they go through so much trouble? The media, the police, the whole government cover up. And I was there when it happened. So I know for a fact that the whole thing was made up and it was a lie. Okay. I was there. I heard it with my own ears. The first call go out to the coroner's office. So no one can ever tell me. So the world was fooled. The world believed the lie in the media. Everybody believed it. Everybody except me. Okay. And my partner, John, he was working on the ambulance, and we got to the scene before the ambulance did. I mean, before the coroner did. Anyway, I'll tell you what happened. Okay. And I will even tell you why it's not the crime of the century. It's O.J. Simpson. Um, O.J. Simpson and Nicole Brown and Ron Goldman. Okay, so they were accusing O.J. Simpson of killing Nicole Brown and Ron Goldman. So that whole thing was just a lie. That was not the biggest crime of the century. I'll tell you the crime of the century. Okay, the biggest crime of the century is when they kidnapped Dr. Malachi Z. York and falsely imprisoned him. And he's been in prison for a little over 22 years. Okay, that's the biggest crime of the century. To have the Grand Master Teacher falsely imprisoned, to have the real Messiah falsely imprisoned. Okay, how in the world can you have the Messiah in prison? Well, you did the same thing to Jesus. Okay, anybody who's come to this planet to unite people, to bring love and harmony. And they're only talking about love, harmony, uniting, okay, uplifting the community, giving nine ether beings or letting them know their responsibility to the planet to raise the vibration of the planet, okay, through love, okay, and getting people to love each other, especially the nine ether being, okay? Because the nine ether beings are gods, okay? The world don't want you to know that. If you're a nine ether being, you are a god. That's it. That's facts, okay? So anyway, let me give you the story what really happened on that night in Los Angeles. Let me tell you what happened. All right. Now, I was working for McCormick Ambulance Service, and we get a call, and it's a transfer. And we usually do emergency calls. Most of the calls we run are emergencies, and sometimes you have to do the transfers. You have to take people to convalescent homes or people to their house. Well, this particular time, we was taking a 40-year-old man back to his home, which happened to be a drug rehab that was in the same vicinity as this murder happened. Brentwood, California. And we picked this patient up, this dude that had the drug problem that was going back home. He had a deviated septum, and that was the reason he was in the hospital. But apparently he had some good insurance because he was going to the fancy rehab in Brentwood. So anyway, when we get the call, me and my partner was upset because we had been busy all day. So we didn't want to take this dude. It's not an emergency call. So we don't want to go to the hospital in Inglewood and then drive all the way to Brentwood. We didn't want to do that. Okay. So we were mad. So since we were mad, we didn't want to give the dispatch our times. I was so mad. I was like, let that punk figure it out. That's how mad I was. We have been working all day, and it's about, and he's giving us this call, and it's almost 8 o'clock. We start at 8, so it's been 12 hours we working and no lunch break. And he wants us to go run this call as if he can't wait till we take a lunch. So yeah, we were so mad, and we didn't write down any of the times. Didn't realize I was going to screw us up in the end. Okay, because when we get to the hospital and get to the floor, we're supposed to sign for the paperwork. I didn't sign for the paperwork. Okay, I was like, I'm not signing that. Well, you have to take it to the other facility. So I signed Howard T. Duck. Here you go. So didn't put my signature on there, just put Howard T. Duck. And didn't even put this dude on the gurney. Okay, he could walk. So I was like, man, I'm not messing up the gurney. You're going to have to walk to the ambulance. So we get him, and he walks to the ambulance, and we're driving all the way to Brentwood. Now we get out, when we start driving through the neighborhood, it's now just starting to get dark. Okay, it just started getting dark. I mean, so this was like maybe 9:30, something like that. Okay. And yeah, because it was a summertime, but it was like just getting dark to where I couldn't see out the back window. And we hear LAPD come on the air and said that what's the ETA for the Los Angeles County Coroner. And he called for that ETA like 2 times and said it was LAPD. We need a ETA for the Los Angeles County Coroner. And we hear this. And I said, we hear this over the radio in the ambulance. And I said, man, they got drive-by shootings out here. And the guy starts laughing. The patient started laughing. He was like, it's not they don't have drive-by shootings out here. This is Brentwood. I was like, he said, it's probably some rich people killing each other for some money or something. This is what the guy said. So anyway, we go to drop him off at this big mansion. And he says, hey, you guys want to come inside, check the place out? It's a bunch of movie stars in here. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, man. He said, you'll be surprised. And he started naming all these actors and actresses that were in this rehab. I had no idea so many famous people did drugs and were hooked on drugs and were in this facility. I mean, it was a lot of them. Okay. And I remember one of the people I saw in there. I saw him on the news that said that they were canceling the show because the patient, the actress, was on hiatus. They didn't say she was. They was like she just needed a break and she's on a vacation, and the show is just going to be, going to pick back up in a couple of more seasons or something like that. But anyway, this lady was not on no vacation where they said she was. She was in that drug rehab. Okay, so anyway, so this was like 9:30 or something. So we just walking around this rehab, and we didn't have the person that was at the desk that we're supposed to meet, that the patient was supposed to report to, wasn't there. So there was nobody at the desk because it was so late. So now I don't know that we screwing up our own alibi, okay, messing up our own times. So now we like hung out at this mansion for about 2 hours. So we come back out to the unit and it's around 11 o'clock, 2 hours, right? Hour and a half, 2 hours. And we hear on the counter again, on the radio again, what's the ETA on the corner? I said, what? I said, man, it's been almost 2 hours. They're still waiting for the corner. That's a long time to wait, especially if they're coming to Brentwood. So I'm like, wow. My partner, back then we didn't have no satellites and no we didn't have the satellites where you can or the GPS to track the units. Then we didn't have one on our unit. We was using a map book, Randy McNeil map book. But my partner, he starts flipping through the pages of this map book, and then he looks at me and goes, hey man, that's the juice. I said, the juice? And I'm like, the juice? He goes, yeah, OJ. I said, OJ the juice. I said, how in the hell do you know where OJ Simpson lived? He said, those star maps. I used to get those star maps and I went on those trips. So yeah, if you ever in Los Angeles, they have these tour buses and they give you these star maps and they take you around these neighborhoods looking at all the star homes. So he knew that it was OJ Simpson's house. And he was like, hey man, you want to go? I'm like, shoot, you driving? Let's go. So we're driving around, now it's dark, it's 11 o'clock at night. So we're driving around and we're trying to get to to where the crime scene is. But the police got the whole neighborhood blocked off. Every street you turn down, they had the yellow tape going across. So we couldn't get in. So we were about to leave. And now we start looking for the major highway was looking for Sunset Boulevard. And we're coming around and we're about to head up to Sunset Boulevard. We're passing another street where they had the tape blocked off, but the officer sees that we're passing by and he yells at us, hey, it's over here, it's over here. So my partner turns up there and the guy lifts up the yellow tape and he goes, are you guys the ones supposed to come? And my partner goes, yeah. So he lifts up the tape so we can drive through and get to the crime scene. Now, he tells us that we're going to see a bunch of officers that's already there when we get to the crime scene. So we start going down the street real slow. And I seen a couple of cop cars parked around but only one person was out there. Okay. So we pull up, and of course, this guy is a rookie. And I get out. I said, hey, well, what's going on? And he goes, this is OJ's house. I said, what? How in the heck does everybody know where OJ live? Everybody except me. So he said, this is going to be a high profile case. Be careful. I'm like, okay. I put my gloves on and I try to run over there to see what's going on. And as soon as I get up there, I grab the gate and I'm starting to pull on the gate. And the officer says, hey, make sure you don't step in the crime scene or touch the gate. I look down. It's so much blood around. It is so much. I'm standing in a puddle of blood. And I got my hand on the gate. And I asked him, I said, how am I supposed to get over there if I can't touch the gate? And how am I not going to step in the crime scene? I was already in it. So he runs around. He goes, I'm going to go get the head detective. They're in the back. So he said, everybody's in the back. And then he tells me the first two officers, they already messed up the crime scene. They stepped in it and they threw up. So both officers saw the crime scene and threw up. When I saw her, I almost threw up. She was damn near decapitated. But, I held it in. I kind of had how you throw up in your mouth a little bit? It was like that. Okay. You kind of, you're trying to hold it in. Okay. And then what he wanted us to do, because Nicole was gone, it was a wrap for her. But it was another dude that was in the bushes, and I could see his, I couldn't see his face or anything like that. I could just see his legs, in these bushes that was off to the side. And he says, the coroner hasn't come yet, and we want to get the bodies out of here. And I told him, we can't take dead bodies. We're not supposed to. It's against the law to put a dead person in the ambulance. And then he said, well, why don't you check to see if the other dude has a pulse? So that meant no one even checked on Ron Goldman to see if he was still alive. They didn't even know if he was still alive yet, because they didn't want to get in the crime scene. They just assumed he was dead. They hadn't even checked him yet. This dude gonna tell me to check. And then maybe if he even has a faint pulse, I said, yeah, we could take him. I said, if he's alive, we can take him. I said, if he got a pulse, we can take him. And he said, well, if he doesn't, can you just take him anyway and just pretend like he died on the way? I'm like, heck no. So he says he's going to go and get the head detective. And apparently the head detective was Mark Furman. And which I had already met before. Okay. I already met Mark Furman before. Okay. Mark Furman used to be a narcotics officer in Simi Valley. Okay. How do I know? Because my brother-in-law was this big time drug dealer, and I went with him to make a payoff to Mark Furman. All right. I'm sitting across the table at this cafe in San Fernando Valley, and my brother-in-law gives him an envelope. He tells my brother-in-law that I'm the only man that he trusts, and if he doesn't come to pay him, that he'll see me there. I'll pay him. And I said right away, heck no, don't look for me. I'm not in this. I don't want to be involved. No kind of way. I'm telling my brother-in-law this. My brother-in-law starts laughing. But there's no way I want to get involved in that at all. So my brother-in-law's laughing and says, it's okay. But that's what he told Mark Fuhrman. So anyway, I didn't know Mark Fuhrman was the head detective on this case. I had no idea. I thought he was still in the valley. But anyway, so when he runs around the back, because he couldn't go through the front, the way he's telling me to go, you can't even go that way. He had to go around through he ran all the way around the block. He ran to the corner. There's only a few more houses till you got to the block. And he ran around and entered the back of the house that way. And when he did that, since I was all in the crime scene, my partner was like, man, you better get all of that blood off your shoes, man. So I went to the edge of the grass and I started wiping my foot. And he was like, dude, don't wipe your feet off here. They're going to see it. Go down the street. So I start hopping down the street on one foot. I'm hopping, and I hop down the street and I find a patch of grass and I start wiping, both my feet, wiping my shoes off. And I finished doing that. I ran back to the ambulance before the detectives get out there. So now we're sitting in the ambulance, and this is when I started telling my partner the whole story about meeting this detective in the valley, and I'm telling them about my brother-in-law, because my brother-in-law, his name just happened to be OJ. Okay. So I told him, dude, when you said OJ the first time, I knew you couldn't be talking about my brother-in-law because I had never told you about him. Okay. So that's the reason why I was like, OJ Simpson, when he was talking like the juice, because I knew he wasn't talking about my brother-in-law. But anyway, now we're sitting in the ambulance and we're waiting for this detective to come out. Soon as we see the detective coming out, he's holding the shoe he's got a shoe in this big old plastic bag. And this other dude in back of him got a big old brown bag. And I tell my partner, John, I go, that's him. That's the dude I met in the cafe. And as soon as I said that, my partner goes, he steps on the gas. He goes, we got to get out of here, like that. And he just starts taking off, boom, going down the street. And Mark Fuhrman is yelling, what are you guys doing here? What are you guys doing out here? You bet not have stepped in my crime scene, like that. And we're gone, right? So we're hoping that he can't catch the name of the ambulance, when he's coming, when he's looking at the unit. We're hoping he don't catch the name of it. And of course he didn't, because they never said anything to us. They called our dispatcher the next day, was telling us, did you know you were 2 blocks away from the O.J. Simpson murder case? You was 2 blocks away? I was like, we were? And he goes, nah, you couldn't have been there. Good. Okay. We don't know nothing about it. But my partner took off and he says, man, he says, you better not tell anybody about this. He said, they're going to kill us. He said, don't say anything. They'll kill us. Just like that. He's like, promise me you won't say nothing. Now my heart is beating fast. You know how your heart is beating so fast, you can feel it in your throat. It was like that. My heart is going boom, boom, boom up in my throat. I couldn't talk. I was speechless. Okay. I'm just breathing, trying to catch my breath, because this was a horrible, horrible scene. Okay. Now we get to the, we take off, right? We go back to the hospital so we can clean the ambulance out. Okay. It's still blood in the front from when I got in the unit. I still had little specks of blood on the bottom of my shoe. So it still got in the unit. So we had to clean the whole unit out really good, get rid of the evidence, so they won't say we was there. Get back to the station, wait for the next morning. That's when they call and it's like, hey, did you know you were 2 blocks away? Nah, we didn't know that. So my partner was like, hey man, you're going to have to get some new boots. I'm like, for what? He said, you're going to get some new boots, man. I was like, man, I'm not getting no boots. He was like, take your boots off. I'm going to buy you some more. So I'm like, you buying me some brand new boots? He was like, yeah, you got to get rid of them boots. I was like, if you buying. So my partner took my boots, threw my boots in the trash, and poured gasoline in the trash can and set the boots on fire to call itself burning the evidence and let the side of the doggone station catch on fire. We end up getting a water hose, putting it out. Fire department came. Guess what the first thing they said? Hey, did you guys hear about OJ? That's the first thing they said when they got there. Not, how did you guys get the fire out? Is everybody okay? None of that stuff. Well, I guess they saw the fire was out, so they wasn't too worried about it. They was all on that. Hey, everybody came out with their shoes on. You must have been the first one out. You're the only one that don't have no shoes, no boots. I'm like, yeah, I'm the fastest one. I ran out the building the fastest. That's why I don't have any boots. Okay. And anyway, so that's what happened. We burnt the boots and never talked about it again. That was it. Never talked about it. Not even when I was having the nightmares. Okay. Because people, if you see somebody's head almost chopped off and you standing right next to them in a puddle of blood, that might make you have some nightmares. It just might. Okay. That's the real Halloween. All right. It didn't happen on Halloween, but hey, it was a scary night, a fright night. So that whole situation about OJ committing a murder, I still think he did it. And as a matter of fact, I know he did it. He just couldn't have done that by himself. Somebody had to be with him. He had to have some help. Okay? Because there was no way he could have did that by himself. All right? I was there. I seen the crime scene. Ain't no way he could have did it by himself. Okay? He had help. So whoever helped him got away with murder. All right? They should still be looking for that person, looking for the one that helped OJ. But OJ was there. I know he was there. Okay. How do I know he was there? Because he's a big liar. That's how I know he was there. He's a liar. So he was there. He know all about it. He admitted it in his book, trying to say it was a what if my ass. Okay. He didn't have to say what if I did it. That's all he had to say is I did it. Because he did. And I think Mark Fuhrman was just trying to plant some evidence to have to have more evidence. What you do when they plant evidence, they don't have no evidence. They can't find anything. So he didn't want to get them on circumstantial evidence. He already knew that the crime scene was jacked up. So since the crime scene was jacked up from everybody else stepping in it, he had to go and plant OJ's shoe print in it. Okay. And notice, if you look at any old pictures of this crime scene, you only see one footprint of a clear footprint. One clear footprint in this whole crime scene. That was so fake because it would have been impossible to get a clear footprint. How come none of my footprints wasn't clear like that? Okay. It didn't start getting clear till I started hopping down the street when you can get a legible print. But anyway, that's what happened. So nobody can ever tell me, oh, it happened at 11 a.m. And if you read the papers, they're going to say that Mark Fuhrman showed up to the crime scene at 5 a.m. in the morning. That's bullshit, because at midnight, when I was there, that's what time Mark Fuhrman came out yelling at us. Why in the heck on the news the next day they said Mark Fuhrman didn't show up till 5 a.m.? Why did his partner take the blood samples and go on a 2-hour lunch break? Or what was 2-hour lunch break? Hour and a half? Something like that. Look it up. They'll tell you this is supposed to be a high profile crime scene. His partner going to take evidence and disappear for 2 hours. Yeah, right. They were just they didn't have enough evidence, and they was just trying to plant some to make sure that they could get him. Okay. That's what happened. That's the truth. Okay. So OJ ass ended up getting away because of they shoddy ass police want to try to plant evidence and did a terrible job at it. Okay. So that's what happened there. And like I said, that is not the biggest crime scene of the century. That's a lie. Okay. The biggest crime scene of the century is when they kidnapped Dr. Malachi Z. York and falsely imprisoned him, and has been in prison for over 22 years. That's the biggest crime, to have the Messiah, Tahiti Troth, the man that speaks 19 different languages, the man from Planet Risk, the man with all the knowledge and information, 76 trillion years, should not be in prison. That is the biggest crime in America. That's the biggest crime in the world, to have Dr. Malachi Z. York falsely imprisoned. So that's what we need to work on. Raising the vibration of this planet, uniting as one, and stop falling for the BS where they have everybody, that's how they do it. Divide and conquer, divide and conquer. That trick has worked so well, and it still works. You have everybody separated by race, color, religion, young, old, black, white, short, tall, everybody's divided. There's got to be some kind of division somewhere. Okay? Especially with this doggone religion and politics. There's got to be all this division. Okay? How else are you going to conquer people? Okay? Do you know how powerful we'll be if we all just unite, drop that all religion crap? Just drop it, man. Okay? And live by your own rules. Okay? You don't have to have anybody to teach you how to love. Okay? You should already know how to do that. It's already in you. Okay? You don't have to worship nobody outside you. outside yourself. You don't have to look for no Christ outside yourself. Don't you know that you are the Christ? Okay. Don't you know that the God spirit is within you? Don't you know that you are the God? Okay. It's you. So they tricked you to make you so you won't know who you are. Okay. Even though you can go through every religion, especially in Eastern religions, and they will tell you the truth. Know thyself. And you cannot know thyself if you're trying to know somebody else, or you're trying to know Jesus so much. You don't need to know Jesus. You need to know you. That's who you need to know. Okay. So that's why you can't find yourself, because you're not going within. Okay. Go deep within and find yourself. Okay. You just pass yourself. All right. Looking outwards. Don't look out, look in. Okay. And that's the only way you're going to find the truth. That will be the only way you can connect to God, is to go within. Okay. The only way you will connect to God. And you will never connect to God as long as you believe in your religion. How are you going to find God or know God? So you got the choice: believe in religion or know God. And you can't know God if you believe in religion and you follow your religion. It's impossible. Knowing and believing is two different things. You either know it or you believe it. And believing is just a lie. It's just like saying, I'll just believe whatever. I'm too lazy to do some research and do my own homework, so I'm not even going to find out the facts. That's the one thing I love about Dr. Malachi Z. York, is because he teaches the Wusabat culture. Okay. And the Wusabat culture will lead you to freedom. Set your mind free. Okay. Free yourself. Free your mind. Okay. Take action. Okay. They say knowledge is power. No, I say the use of knowledge is power. Okay. Because if you're not using the knowledge, what's the point? Okay. What is the point? All right. Because listen here. I'll give you a real good example. I got a cousin. It's facts. Okay. Reading about Dr. Sebi. Okay. So she's got the knowledge. Okay. Because she's got the information. But she's overweight. Okay. Really overweight. Okay. And she's telling me about Dr. Sebi, and she's carrying a big slab of ribs, pork ribs, not even beef ribs, pork ribs. And she's overweight, and she's eating and feeding to her family. She's feeding to her family too. All these pork ribs. Me, on the other hand, I've read about Dr. Sebi too. But when I read about him, I used the knowledge. I used to be big and fat. Okay, I was 256 pounds. I used the knowledge that Dr. Sebi gave. Now I weigh 130 pounds. See the difference? You can use the knowledge and get results, or you can read the knowledge and don't use it. And guess what? you will not get any results. Okay? Do you know, since I started, I fasted because that's what Dr. Sebi taught. You know, he fasts. Dr. Sebi fasted a lot longer than I did. Okay? Longest fast I ever did was 96 days. All right? Dr. Sebi fasted for 6 months. Dr. Sebi went 6 months and didn't eat no food. Okay? I'm like, shoot, I got 3 months in. I thought I was doing good. Not compared to Dr. Sebi. He's the master of that. Okay, he's the master of that nutrition. All right. But I've been healthy ever since. Okay. I haven't been sick. Okay. I don't catch colds. All right. Everybody's scared to get all this stuff. I've been very healthy. Okay. And that's another way, you know, how they murdered Dr. Sebi, because he was teaching the truth about health. They had to get rid of him, because if everybody starts listening to Dr. Sebi, guess what? He's about to put the pharmaceutical companies out of business. And you know that's a multi-billion-dollar, trillion-dollar business. And Dr. Sebi's talking about eating all natural. Okay? Eat the foods that God put on the planet for you. Okay? Take the herbs for healing and eat the fruits for your meat. Wow. The knowledge. Now you just have to apply it. Okay? You know the knowledge. Now apply it to your life. Okay? Don't just read it and don't do nothing. Okay? Order some books from Dr. Malachi Z. York. Read, absorb the knowledge, and put it into practice. Okay? Study the Wusabat culture. Study the laws of Mayat. That's the laws of the universe. Do you know how beautiful this world would be if everybody said, you know what? I'm just going to follow the laws of nature. I'm going to follow the laws of Mayat. Do you know what this world would be? Do you know how pleasant this world would be to live in? If everybody just said, hey, you know what? I'm dropping a religion. I'm dropping all of that stuff. Okay? I'm just going to live the laws according to Mayat, the laws of the universe. You do that, man. Why don't people do that? Okay? Instead of talking about their religion and then try to put everything on somebody else. So that means, oh, I can do some harm to you. I can lie. I can steal. I can cheat. I can do whatever. I can hurt you. I can kill you. I can do anything up to you. And then that's all I got to do is say, oh, forgive me, Jesus. And then go on my way. Really? Why don't you just follow the laws of Mayat and show honor and respect and love to everybody? Honor, love, and respect to all the animals. Why can't you just do that? Oh, it's too much love, huh? I get you. Too much responsibility, huh? It's going to be too much responsibility for you to be nice and kind to somebody, huh? It's going to too much responsibility for you to just tell the truth, huh? Oh, wow. It's too much responsibility for you to take care of your own body, huh? Oh, you too scared to eat healthy. You too scared to fast for a couple days. You too scared. You got to kill somebody or have somebody kill something so I can eat it. No, go kill that chicken. Go kill that cow so I can eat it. Too lazy to go out and plant a tree. Why don't you plant an apple tree? Too lazy to do that kind of stuff, huh? Too lazy to take responsibility for your own life, huh? That's all it is. You get comfortable with somebody just telling you something, because I know one thing, most of them Christians don't even read that Bible. Okay? Because if you read it, I don't understand how you people can read it and still be so evil. But I do know why. You fall for the tricks. Okay? In 1589, that's when King James wrote Demonology. Okay? So if he wrote Demonology and then said, hey, you know what? I'm going to write another book for the Christians. I'm going to make them worship the devil without even knowing it. I'm going to get my homeboy Shakespeare to write it up. I mean, and you guys go for the King James Version when he wrote Demonology. He wrote Demonology and how he's going to trick you Christians. He's going to make up a religion, make it up, and have you guys worship the devil without knowing it. And you do it. You do it. Do you know how crazy that is? How can you read about King James, who killed his own mother, raped her first? This dude raped and killed his own mama, then wrote a book and gave it to you and said, this is a holy book. Unless he's talking about it's holy because it's full of lies. Wake up. It's time to wake up and take responsibility for yourself, okay? Follow the man that's got 76 trillion years of knowledge, information, facts, okay? I said 76 trillion years of facts. That's Dr. Malachi Z. York. Nobody on the planet is claiming this. He's the only person on the planet that is claiming this. So how can you ignore these things? Okay. That's why I think, I'm not into any of these people that's supposed to be so spiritual and such leaders. I haven't seen one of them mention Dr. Malachi Z. York. I haven't seen no Farrakhan trying to get him out of jail. I haven't seen no Moors, no Christians, nobody, no Muslims, nobody, no Jews. Nobody. He's by himself. Why is that? But like I said, that's the same thing they did to Jesus, huh? The same thing. Wow. So why didn't Farrakhan have a 1,000,000-man march to free Dr. Malachi Z. York? I want to know why. When he's done so much for the community and for our people, why does his information has to be suppressed? And why do people have to lie on a man who's known for being truthful? So free Dr. Malachi Z. York, raise your vibration, and maybe when the real, the right, the true Anunnaki gods show up, maybe you'll be in that number. Well, they'll skip you up too. Or maybe you're going to be in the number that wants to pray. And guess what? You will become that prey. Yeah, it's a trick. It's a trick, okay? It's a trick they gave you, Christians, okay? The English language is a trick. A whole bunch of spells and ways to dumb you down. That's why Dr. Malachi Z. York speaks 19 different languages, and he can't be fooled, okay? He doesn't have to use the English language, the one that casts spells on everybody, okay? People don't even know just by saying good morning, that's a spell. They have no idea what they're saying. Just by saying good morning, they don't even realize that that's a spell to dumb your ass down, make you go to sleep, okay? They give you these words, weekend. Yeah, you're going to be weakened, all right. You're going to have a weekend, all right. You will be weak. Not me. Okay? I'm aware of the words I use. I do my best anyway. Not to cast a spell on myself. I do my best not to cast a spell on myself or anybody that's around me. Okay? I don't be telling nobody no good morning. I say anything that's positive. I might say good day, grand rising. You know, I might say something like that. So, no, I'm not going to tell anybody to have a good morning, because there's nothing good about morning. Okay? It's nothing good about having a loss. Okay? So anyway, that was the end of that story. All right. And yeah, that was it. Running out of things to talk about. Okay. Not unless I want to talk about only one person. Hey, you know, it's only one rapper that I really like now. And his name is Phase One. That dude is cool. Okay. That's the only kind of rap I like, because it's got a hard, cool beat. And he's talking about something positive. Okay. That's what I like. And he's got songs talking about freeing Dr. Malachi Z. York. Oh, yeah. I like that kind of music. Okay. I know he's got one of them about bringing Dr. Malachi Z. York home. I think if you just listen to that and listen to the words of that song by Phase One, you know, bringing Pops home, bringing Dr. Malachi Z. York home, listen to the words, listen to the lyrics, okay, I think that song might just wake you up so you can see what's really going on. Find out the truth, okay? Yeah, do that. Go listen to that song by Phase One. All right? Listen to that and tell me what you think. Tell me if you like that song. That's what I want. I want to hear that in the comments about you listen to Phase One and what you think about that song about bringing Dr. Malachi Z. York home, you know. So, yeah, it's like come home, bring him home. So that's my word of advice. Listen to Phase One about bringing Dr. Malachi Z. York home. Come home, Dr. Malachi Z. York. He will be free. He will be free. The master teacher will be free. Thank you for listening to the show. I love you. I wish the best for you. So, peace, love, and happiness. And take care of your health. And I'm sure it will bring you much wealth. Till next time.